Hey y'all, what's good? It's Faith Williams. I am a realtor, a content creator, and an event venue owner, and this is my story.
Okay, so where are you from?
I am from Harvey, Louisiana, but I grew up in Terrytown, so a West Bank girl.
And so, for as yourself, how it was for you, like growing up on the West Bank.
Um, that's a great question. Nobody has ever asked me that before. I feel like it was pretty cool. I don't know how to answer that question. I don't know how to answer that question. I feel like my life was fairly normal growing up on the West Bank. I really liked the West Bank. And it's like, you know how you from the West Bank and sometimes you don't really go across the river and then across the river people don't really come over here. That's kind of like how it was until like I got older and then I started really knowing what New Orleans was going across the river. If that makes sense. So it was a cool life. It was a cool life.
And so, if you could bring it all back, would you rather stay on the West Bank or across the river?
I'm gonna stay on the West Bank. I'm gonna stay on the West
I
Bank.
always tell people like I grew up on both, and I tell them if the West Bank always had clean water, you had to worry about boiling water.
Yeah.
And you have to worry about being on sea level.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and most people don't know if the West Bank isn't under sea level, and so when they associate New Orleans, they be like thinking surrounding area, but like everywhere is not.
Everywhere is not. But I'm gonna stay on the West Bank. I'm a West Bank girl for life. I like the other side because it's more that they have to offer. The West Bank, we trying to get on the come up. You know what I'm saying? We trying to do what we do. But I like the other side as well. It's different. It's different.
Well, I always tell people, hey, but West Bank people don't have to go over there. Y'all have to come to the West Bank to shop and stuff. They don't have too many stores in New Orleans anymore. Or you have to go to, if you still have to go to Jefferson Parish, even if you're going on Veterans.
Because Metairie is still
Jefferson Parish.
Metairie is still Jefferson Parish.
Gotcha. So all right. What high school did you go to?
West Jeff and Harvey. West Jefferson High School.
How was that for you?
That was good. It was different. I feel like it was a very mixed culture. It was a lot of black people. It was a lot of white people. It was a lot of Asian people, Spanish people. So it was a really good mix of that, and I like that.
But what year? What year did you actually graduate?
2015.
2015.
Mm-hmm.
So how old were you when Hurricane Katrina hit?
I was like, it was 2005, so I was probably like 8. Yeah, like 8, 9, if I'm doing my math right.
And so did you, remember anything about that?
Yeah, so we ended up actually staying for Hurricane Katrina. I was still living on the West Bank at the time. I was in Terrytown, and we were living in a 2-story townhouse called Carrollwood Village. And I remember it was me, my mom, my brother, and also my grandmother. And I just remember that night of the hurricane, the floors, we had carpet, so like the floors at the bottom level, they were rising. It was nothing but this is the ground, and this is how much water was in our house. So it was definitely crazy, just being through that and just being that young, because it's you don't really know what's going on, and then you know what's going on at the same time. So it's just you don't know how traumatic something like that can be until you get older, in a sense. And then it's you start having these memories come back to you. You're like, dang, I really went through that. You know what I'm saying? So but all of our families was still able to make it out, and so that's the blessing.
So I can see if that water rise in Terrytown, if we're supposed to be on above sea level.
Yeah.
Do you plan on leaving now? If a hurricane comes?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. No. I left for I think that was Ida. Yeah, I left for Ida. Yeah, I'm not risking that. Absolutely.
Yeah, but I left for Katrina.
Yeah.
I didn't leave for the first hurricane they had, like right before Katrina, George, and I
Mhm.
remember seeing all the people on with all that traffic.
Yeah.
But in Hurricane Katrina, if like once George Bush here leave, I'm like the president telling you leave, they should leave.
Like, we gotta go.
Yeah, like if the president don't tell you leave,
Right. Like whatever.
like if it's usually one like meteorologist,
Yeah.
or like a mayor might have like a mandatory, but the president get on the news, I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm like,
he
Mom,
on to something.
if I actually left my mama.
Oh.
I said, you don't want to go nowhere? All right. I'm about to go with the first people that take me.
Not you love your mama.
Anyway,
You ain't right.
So graduated from West Jeff. I'm like, did you go to college?
Yes. So I went to Southern University in Baton Rouge. Hmm.
And so how was that? Like most people from New Orleans actually go to Grambling or Southern.
Hmm.
And like people don't know, like that's still one like culture shock, but you still see a lot of people from your area there.
Yeah.
And so how was it for you?
I really liked it out there. Like, I wanted, you know how you're in high school, you like ready to go, but sometimes you don't want to go too far, but you want to be far enough. So I felt like that was what that was for me. And then Southern is just like you said, it's a culture shock. It's like so many different people coming from so many different areas, and the connections and the people that you meet is just like it's different. It's Black culture for real. Like, I love the fact that I went to an HBCU. Like, I wouldn't have went anywhere else, and still the people that, because I mean, it's been a while. That was 2015. It's been a while since I've been out of college, and just the people that I still know now and still connect with now and doing things with now is like crazy. Yeah.
That's good. So,
Yeah.
I'm like, graduate college?
No, I did not.
If I want to jump the gun and say, after college. And so what happened?
So I was in my third year. So this is actually the start. This would have been the start of my fourth year. That January, I dropped out of college. I was a professional dancer, still am to this day, but I was really in that part in time, I was really trying to pursue my dance career because I was on a team for Southern. It was called Elevate, and we were a hip hop dance crew. And a few of my friends, we dropped out. We was like, we're gonna do this. We're gonna move to Atlanta. We had an opportunity to be a part of this dance program that was in Atlanta. So it was like, man, we're gonna do it. Like, whatever. So dropped out. Literally left to go to Atlanta, $500 in my pocket. Left, we went out there and we pursued our dreams. Well, at least we tried. We ended up like living on the floor, like going from post to post. Like it was crazy. It was something that I would not expect. Like, and my dad was like, what are you doing?
And that was my next question. Like, how did your parents feel when you actually decided to drop out?
So, my mom, she was very supportive. Not saying that my dad was, but my mom was just like, I'm like, Mom, like, this is what I'm gonna do. Like, basically not asking no questions. Like, this is what I'm gonna do. This is what I want to do. And she was just like, okay. And my dad like, okay, what you gonna do about your education? Because that point in time, I had an apartment and my dad was the guarantor on the apartment. So it's just like, I'm basically like ditching this lease as well. So it's just like, he asking me like, what's your plan and everything like that. And I'm just like, I think I'm 18 at this point. I'm just like whatever, like I'm doing.
You still gotta pay the rent.
Yeah. No, thankfully I got out of it. Out of it. So that was a blessing. But I'm just like, I want to do what I got to do. Like, they were all supportive, but, my dad, like, that was in the back of his mind. But I'm just like, I'm going to do what I have to do. But I was not ready for what I experienced, yeah.
And a lot of people don't know, you're supposed to give your child, a little, leeway to actually, make mistakes.
Yeah.
Who knows? It was sometimes, but they actually following, if they dream, if they might just make it.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of times the kids don't make it and they end up rough. And they got to go back home to parents.
Yeah.
And so, did you come back home?
Yeah, I did. But when I left, I'm moving to Atlanta. Like I have no plans on coming back. I had no plans on coming back. So I ended up coming back. So I got there January, was out there February, March. We came back April. April or May. It was around Easter time that I had came back, and I'm like, dang, like I don't want to come back. Like I'm gonna feel like I'm a failure, because you know what I'm saying. Like I'm basically telling these people, especially when it comes to being on social media, like dang, I just told these people like I'm moving out here. I'm like, dang, like if I move back, like I don't want them to look at me a certain way, and but I'm just like, are you willing to look at how people look at you? Are you willing to look at that, or do you want to keep staying on the floor? Like, what do you want to do? So I'm just like, man, like I ended up coming back, and that was one of the best decisions that I made. Hmm.
And so, what your parents told you, like, if you have to go back to college or you have to get a job?
Oh no! Once I left school, I was like you know how you good at something, but you don't want to do it. Like I was good at school for my whole life, but I'm just like, this is not something that I want to do. You know what I'm saying? And with loans and all this, I'm like, that's not something that I want to continue to do. And then especially at the time, like, you know, I'm pursuing dance, I'm doing these things, and I'm just like, that's not something I have to go to school for. So it's like, why would I move forward and go back to school?
And I always tell kids and everyone asks me advice, like, I think you only need to go to college if you're going to be one doctor, lawyer, something that requires it. Like,
yeah.
Like right now, you can go on YouTube and become anything you want if you want to.
Literally, literally.
Like YouTube is a college.
YouTube University. That's it.
Gotcha.
That's
So
it.
you know, so how many years it took you to actually become one on like realtor?
So that was 2018. I came back. I became a realtor in, that was 2020. So when the pandemic hit, I became a realtor in November of 2020.
I'm glad you said that. And was that an easy time to try to sell a house, or like was it very hard at first?
It was easy. It was easy, but of course, like when you're a newer realtor, you're trying to get your name out there. So that part itself, I feel like any realtor is gonna go through that. But with the rates being what they were, 3%, it's like buy. Like everybody wanted to buy. So in that aspect, it was easy. Yeah.
So if you converse it from 2020 to now, and like you know, your average house was people were getting houses for like pandemic time, maybe 200K, 150, but now they 400. So like you know, how do you? I'm like scale. You know, if your experience, if these past, I'm like 4 years.
So I would honestly say now that the rates are higher, it's still the same.
It's still getting them.
It's still the same. It's still around that 200, 250K. And then it's like, the rates make it a little bit harder, because it's like you'll have certain clients, whether their credit is shot and they do have the money, or, you know, they have the money but they don't have credit. So it's like those aspects still fluctuate, which still kind of make it a little bit hard. And even if they're not making enough money to qualify them for that certain price point, that's the average of New Orleans, about that 250, 300K. But it's still be hard for people to get in that price range.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you know, and for the people that's watching this interview, I want you to tell people who like watching this, like, and who thinking about getting into real estate, and who thinking it's easy, and who thinking they're gonna get rich overnight. I want to hear some, I'm like, advice from you right now.
As far as a realtor or someone who's
and
purchasing
before like
property?
a realtor, you know, aspect where you just going in and like having your experience.
Yeah, so that's what I thought. I thought it was gonna be easy. I'm like, man, we about to get this bag, because before this I was doing hair, so I was already in customer service. I'm like, I know how to talk to people. I know what to do when it comes to being a people person and just being all around respectable when it comes to dealing with someone. So I thought I was set. I'm like, I'm about to be a boss, like whatever. But then when I started getting into it, I'm following other realtors on Instagram. I'm just like, dang, this is not as easy as what I thought it is, that I thought it was gonna be. So what I would say is, don't look at Instagram. Don't look at Instagram. Don't compare yourself to other realtors that has been doing this for a long time. I'm still in year 4, and it still gets difficult. There are difficult times, and especially with last year when the rates did go high. That was, and for Ida, that for Ida as well, that made things a little bit more complicated, right? So don't compare yourself to other realtors that have been in the game for 5, 10 plus years, and you're looking at what they're posting on Instagram, and you're like, dang, like I didn't do nothing. Like I haven't been selling anything. Everybody has to go at their own pace. Like that's my number one advice that I would give to someone, especially who's starting out. Do not compare yourself to no one. Everyone's journey is going to be different. As long as you're taking the strides to do what you need to do, to put yourself out there and to put yourself in a better position, that's what you should be worried about. Just don't compare yourself, because that is going to be very detrimental to your mental. It is going to be detrimental to your progress. So you're winning. You're going at your own race. It's a marathon. It's not anything that you're going to get rich overnight with. But you just have to keep pushing. Perseverance. Have perseverance. And do not give up, because it takes time. That will be my number one advice.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, you are one, I'm like jack of all trades, If you just mentioned that you actually did hair too.
Yes.
So this is my question. I'm like, what can't you do?
Fly a plane.
Oh, but not yet, huh?
Not yet.
Have you ever tried yet, huh?
Yeah, not yet.
So, I'm like content creator.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, what year did that actually start?
So it kind of started at the same time when I started real estate, because of course I'm seeing all these realtors posting all these houses, and I'm like, okay, they look like they getting business off this. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start recording houses. I'm gonna record me going to open houses. I'm gonna record, do all the recording I can. So I started off recording houses. Then once it got into houses, I'm just like, okay, like now I could record like my day in the life. So I could show people like what I'm doing on a daily basis. So I started doing that. So then I'm like, okay, I see people reaching out to me. Certain brands started reaching out to me to do promotion for their brands. And then I had other realtors asking me, oh, I really love the way you recorded that house. You recorded that? Like, I want you to come record my houses. So like it started with me being consistent on that, and then people just really started reaching out, and then it's like I'm putting my personality into these videos. So then that's another thing that started attracting people to me with the content creation. Mm-hmm.
Okay. With that being said, you open up your own studio.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what year was that?
Last year.
Okay.
Last year.
And we're actually sitting in here right now.
Yes.
So like for the people who don't know, I'm like, tell them, I'm like, what all does your studio actually offer, and everything like that.
So I pride in being very diverse with this space. We want to be very diverse. So it is an event venue, but it's a studio as well. So not only do we host parties, weddings, different seminars and things like that, we also have this space to be a production studio, whether that's for podcasts or whether that's for photography or whether that's for a dance class, or even if a church congregation wants to come in here and hold church on Sundays. We pride in being a very diverse space. And we have a good amount of amenities that we offer along with the venue. So when you rent from us, it's not just you're getting this space itself, but you're getting other things, like tables, chairs. We have decor packages and things of that nature that we offer as well. So we don't like to deny anyone. So if it makes sense and we could make it work, then we gonna make it work.
Gotcha. So I have this question for you, for people who probably watching this right now.
Yeah.
So many entrepreneurs always see, you need, if you need, I'm like more than, if you need like, I'm like more than one income to actually become one, I'm like millionaire. So like, the question, if most people ask me is, how do you juggle them all? So like, if that's my question, actually to you.
Organization. Like, if you're not organized, if you're not an organized person, then you definitely need either to become well disciplined in organization, or you need to have someone on the side of you to be able to take care of something that you can't. Because for me, speaking right now, I do everything myself. I don't necessarily have a specific team or a specific person that I delegate things for. So especially with me being the person that does everything, content, me speaking with clients, me speaking with venue clients, realtor clients, content creation clients, it's so important for me to write everything down, have everything in my calendar, everything in my planner. It's hard, but I have to be organized. That's like my number one thing. I have to be organized, especially doing everything by myself.
Gotcha. So, what's one average day like for you?
So an average day, wake up probably around like 5:30, 6 o'clock. I definitely have to speak with the Lord. I have to get with God first before I do anything. So that consists of me doing my morning devotion. Then I get up, I go work out, whether that's me going to the gym or me going for a walk like I did this morning. And then the day is kind of open from there. I like to structure my days for me to do certain things on certain days. Like Mondays are more of my admin days. I'm sitting behind the computer majority of the day. But then like a Tuesday and a Thursday, I'm doing things for Social House. That's the name of my event venue. Or whether it's Wednesday and Friday, I may be doing something for real estate. And then content creation, that's something that I do, you might as well say, every day. But typical days, it's really out in the open. I don't have a specific schedule that I follow, because with being an entrepreneur, you never know what pops up, right? So I may say that I do majority of my real estate on Wednesdays and Fridays, but on a Tuesday, my real estate client might contact me and I have to do something for them, So the days really vary. With my schedule. Yeah.
All right, gotcha. So, being one, I'm like young, black entrepreneur. I don't know if I'm gonna ask you this first, then I'm gonna leave the other questions. Like, are you single?
Yes.
Okay. So how is it like to juggle these businesses and also remain single while people probably are interested in you and dating you? Because sometimes if I always hear entrepreneurs like, man, if in New Orleans it's kind of hard to date when you have a certain, I'm like, focus where you're trying to go. So I'm like, how it is, I'm like, for yourself.
It's not really hard for me because I'm not dating.
I'm
not dating.
So you no plans at all, right?
Yeah, no, because I definitely want to. I want to get married. I want to have kids and things like that. But yeah, I'm not dating anyone. Even when I was dating someone, of course, that's something that you have to prioritize when you're dating, because it can't just be all about business. And I was in a relationship not too long ago, so definitely being able to manage, it can have its sacrifices. Some days this may fall by the wayside. Sometimes business is more demanding than other days, and your partner can feel like, hey, like, dang, like, what about me? But in my experience in the past, I have had to sacrifice time with my relationship, but at the same time you have to come back and make sure your partner is reassured. But as far as right now, that's not something that I'm dealing with in this moment. So just being able to give 100% to my business right now is my main priority.
I always tell entrepreneurs, if you're gonna date someone or take someone serious, you gotta let them know from the start. Like you have, like, if you date an entrepreneur, you need to try to help, feel a need, and and vice versa. I need to help you become an entrepreneur so you can understand that there is no set hours. It's 24 hours.
Yeah.
But a true entrepreneur, at the moment you wake up, you think about how to better your business.
Yeah, when you're sleeping.
Yeah, you're like, man, if you're excited to wake up to and to do something new.
Yeah.
But I tell people, I think entrepreneurs should actually date other entrepreneurs, because a person with a 9 to 5 would never understand what a full entrepreneur. If some people it would actually make me feel like, man, you ain't really doing no work, you just chilling at home. But you don't know, if you brainstorming and all kinds of things.
Yeah.
So
I feel like it's about the communication. Even if it's someone that's not an entrepreneur,
right,
someone who is working a 9 to 5, I feel like it's all about the communication aspect of it. And I feel like that's where a lot of us fail, because it's like, say for example, if you're speaking with your partner and you just get up and you on go, but you so busy you didn't even text your partner, like you went the whole day without talking to your partner, right? And it's just like you couldn't stop for 5 seconds to shoot your partner a text or a call, and just to check in on them, or things like that can make a huge difference in someone's relationship.
Yeah, it could. Because I tell people, if you want to do it, you could just keep some sort of on a communication all day. Just text me. You got to talk on the phone all day with a person. You should kind of, text a person and kind of tell them, how your day going.
Correct.
It'd be vice versa. Even though the person's working a 9 to 5, but they probably still have stuff going on with them.
Yeah. And I feel like it's important to talk about that stuff up front, right? So it's just you won't have too many surprises when you're getting further and further into the relationship. Hey, this is what I'm doing. Are you on board with it or not? Giving that person the option.
Hey,
amen.
Hey, man, I'm trying to become a millionaire. I don't know what you doing, but
you down or what? You with me or what?
Gotcha. So, I'm what's next for you?
Ooh, that's a broad question. What is next for me? Me really just building. I feel like Social House is my main priority right now. Just building it to be something spectacular, and we're about 7 months. Yeah, so we officially opened in October of last year. So we've been about 7 months in, and I'm just trying to put my all into Social House, just building into something not even just for me, but something for the community, something for where people to feel comfortable coming, something for it to be a safe space. I want to hold different type of events here, whether it's for people, for financial workshops, whether it's for food drives, just different things where people know this is a space to where they can feel comfortable with coming and feel comfortable to hold different events here besides parties. So Social House is definitely something that is going to be on the map. It's on its way to the map. It's going to be all across the board. We want even people from out of state to be able to recognize who we are, So this is what's next for me, and just really just diving deeper into offering content services for other people, because I know people know that I am a content creator, but I don't think they're necessarily too sure that I offer those other services to other business owners such as myself. But content creation and Social House is about to go crazy. It's about to go crazy. We about to go bananas.
Oh, you about to go hard, huh?
We about to go hard. We about to go hard. So that's my main focus right now, for sure. Still focusing on the real estate. You know, I appreciate every deal that God brings to me, but I take what comes. I'm a hustler, but you know, this is my main focus. Social hustle, my main focus.
Oh,
My
this is
baby.
your baby.
My baby.
Gotcha. And also, last but not least, tell the world, I'm like, where can they find you on social media and everywhere else?
Yes, so you guys can find me on Instagram and TikTok. It's Your Faithful Realtor. Your Faithful Realtor. So Faith is spelled Faithe, and then you have the FUL, and Realtor is spelled REELTOR. So that's Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, and YouTube. That's where y'all can find me. And y'all can find Social House on Social House. Social House. House is spelled HAUS.US. That's where y'all can find us. And that's on Instagram and TikTok as well.